Hey everyone, welcome to another Commercial Integrator 3 Questions video interview. Today we are very lucky to be joined by James Meredith of Wyrestorm. James, thank you so much for joining us today.
Always a pleasure, Jonathan. Thank you very much for having me.
It's great to have you. The first thing that I want to ask is really about offices and office meeting spaces in particular. They've changed a ton over the last year. What does Wyrestorm offer for the modern corporation in terms of these spaces?
Yeah, well, the last year, many of them have been sat empty, and now that people are getting back to them, they're going to be very different places. They're going to be a lot more spacious because many corporations are not planning on having full staff back into the office at all. So they're looking at ways also to introduce these touchless meeting spaces, and the whole world got used to talking as we are now, remotely and working remotely whilst we are away. And we see a trend as people return in hot desking, and that means that unified communications are going to be really, really important. And Wyrestorm launched our first product into this space during the lockdown. It was ideally timed. We were planning one for a long time anyway, and it just landed at the start of the pandemic, and it couldn't have been a better position to really help a lot of customers to get online and to start communicating either from home or from workspaces where people were able to get in. We were thrilled by the success of that product, and the whole way through the pandemic, we've been focusing on R&D. Many of our customers weren't available for us to be communicating with and doing all of the normal events that we do. So we've just doubled down on a real focus on innovation and development. So we've got a whole new range of products coming for unified communications for the new meeting spaces. They're going to go under the Apollo brand name, Wyrestorm Apollo, and they're going to include everything that someone would need from a device in a huddle space or a meeting space in order to have the best possible communication, presentation, and collaborative experience. So those products are going to be launching very, very soon, and we've got a whole range of cameras to accompany that. And we're just really, really excited because we know how many of our customers are going to be looking for these. And we've done a lot of our AV over IP products in offices leading up to the pandemic. We had many corporations moving to AV over IP, seeing the power of information sharing around the office to everybody, with so many media companies, financial institutions looking to get information to all of their staff all the time. And Wyrestorm's Network HD was a great way to do that. But now we're going to be helping them communicate a lot more. And I think it's going to be really exciting to see the combination of those product categories used together.
Yeah, extremely exciting stuff. I want to switch gears just a little bit and get a little more granular into audio distribution specifically. Are there any trends that you're seeing that integrators should be aware of?
Sure. So, I mean, yeah, that carries on nicely because we've been seeing in video the trend to moving from sort of your traditional AV signal distribution methods to IP, and the same is happening in audio as well. We've seen Dante. We were working with Audinate, who make the Dante standard, and we've been working with them for a long time, and we've started to roll that into products now. So our Network HD 400 series was the first to have that added, and customers love that. Latency-free IP distribution with a very, very simple setup and configuration. Dante just really ticks the boxes for presentation solutions, but also the corporate space as well. And we're going to see that roll into more Wyrestorm products. So our SDVoE platform will be the next to get Dante, and I don't think we'll stop there. I think there'll be many more in the future as well.
The last thing that I want to ask about is, the entire industry has been very concerned with security and cybersecurity, especially over the last year and a half. Are Wyrestorm products secure?
We've really taken security seriously. We always had, the basics covered in terms of password protection and making sure that we offered where many brands just have Telnet. We had password protected Telnet. But our customers were telling us that that's not enough. And as everything now sits on the network, everything needs to be secure. So earlier on this year, we protected all of our web interfaces. We made sure that passwords were not sent unencrypted over the network. So we were using secure HTTP. And now we've just launched a huge update to the whole of Network HD so that all of our internal communications are sent using SSH. We have protected and encrypted all of the communications internally. We've even moved our preview streams over to secure HTTP so that those are not accessible to anyone, any third party. So it's been a very long time in development. We've been working on it for a few years, but introducing these standards is just absolutely critical with the kind of customers that Wyrestorm's attracting today and the importance to them to know that their data, their information is secure on their network. And this was just phase sort of 2, I would say, of our security release, and that's available now. It's a free update. Wyrestorm's really focused on having any software improvements free of charge for all of our customers, so anyone can get that those updates now. The next step for us, a lot of the customers we've worked with, again in the corporate space, also the education facilities, the universities we work with, they implement Active Directory, and that is a means for them to control exactly who is on their network. So we know that there was an issue potentially with MAC address spoofing if you are assigning devices on the network via MAC address. So we are going to implement Active Directory, and that will eliminate that security hole as well. So we really will have a market-leading security solution in Network HD towards the end of this year. And right now, I think we still offer one of the most secure platforms in AV over IP, but it's gonna keep getting better as we focus and add more to it.
Yeah, well, certainly a ton that Wyrestorm can offer integrators in terms of products and service and security of those products and services. So if integrators in the audience want to learn more about what you guys can provide, how can they go about doing so?
There's a wealth of information on the website at wyrestorm.com, but also check out our social media links. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn as well as a great tool. We post everything that we're doing on there, but we've just also really updated all of our literature. So we have documents for all the different product categories we offer, and also all of the market verticals that we look into, as well as having just posted a new document, a new white paper on our commitment to security, explaining in more detail what we've just talked about. So I beg everyone to go and take a look at that at the website.
Yeah, I certainly encourage everyone in the audience to do so and learn more about Wyrestorm. James Meredith of Wyrestorm, thank you so much for joining us for 3 questions.
Thanks for having me, Jonathan. Thank you for watching, everyone.